That's the podcast side. Now let's talk about a YouTube channel. If you want to go onto YouTube and not just should you start a YouTube channel or a podcast? It's the age-old question. YouTube videos are the lifeblood of YouTube itself, meaning that if you take your podcast and you just have a video version of it and you put it on YouTube, most likely it's not going to grow. This is because of a few factors. I'll start with the first. The first is because YouTube is optimized for medium form videos. When it comes to video content, you have three styles. Short form, that's your TikToks, your YouTube shorts, your Instagram reels. Then we have medium form, which is your 5 to 10, pushing 15-minute YouTube videos, highly edited, kind of similar to this, just somebody talking to the camera. Then you have long form content. That's your podcasts and your interviews and your co-hosted shows that you may listen to on the way to work. So we have these three different styles. And when it comes to the question of YouTube versus podcast, again, we're coming back to our goals here. If you already have an audience, I'm talking 5, 10, 15,000 followers plus, at this moment, you may be wondering, do I need something else? It could be a course, it could be a webinar, some type of live training, a group coaching. Is it an ebook? Am I really ramping up my email list? This is the time when these questions begin to come about. So if my goal was to take my thousands of audience members and extract the ones that are the most die-hard fans, the people that are the closest to buying from you with whatever your service is, then a podcast is going to be really good for that. If we look at this like a funnel, right? The bottom of the funnel when it comes to content is your podcast, right? Or something deeper. The reason is there's a requirement to entry. There's a barrier to entry here. That barrier is sitting down, running, walking on the treadmill, driving in your car, and literally having to consume this thing. When you have a podcast, you're saying to the audience, hey, I'm gonna go out and create this for you. I hope it's helpful. And the audience is saying, okay, I get that. I'm with you. I'm going to trade my time for this information. And if the information is good enough, then the audience will continually, week after week, which is what you hope they'll do, consume your podcast. Let's talk about what this really means. If you already have the audience and you want to give them something that is a little bit deeper, a little bit more in depth, and honestly, just a little bit more you, then a podcast is great for that. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can just come up with a really solid concept, angle, a plan, and a strategy, launch it, and you essentially have built-in listeners. Now, if you have aspirations to become a bigger content creator, maybe somebody who has hundreds of thousands or millions of followers down the line, then starting YouTube might be a good idea, but let's stop right there. Let's put that caveat in. You are going to probably become a YouTuber in a sense. You're going to begin to create content for that platform only. So coming back to the three styles, we have your short form, that's your TikToks, your Instagram reels, your 60-second. Then we have your medium form, that's your 5 to 15-minute YouTube video. Then you have your long form podcast. The answer is going to depend on your goals. They all work. My suggestion for a creator who already has followers in the thousands, who's actively and quickly growing their audience, is start with a podcast. It's actually going to be a little bit more upfront work than maybe a YouTube channel, but on a weekly basis, it's going to be more effective for you because, again, the audience is guaranteed. You're delivering something to people who are already there. When it comes to a YouTube channel, you're going to be gathering new people, almost an entirely new audience. So I hope this answers the question as to podcast versus YouTube channel. My name is Ryan Sullivan, founder of Podcast Principles. This is what we help people to do. We have a guaranteed system to do it. It's one-on-one, it's high level, there's strategies involved, and you essentially get your own podcast customer service. So if that's something you're interested in, we always have the link below these videos. If you're watching on YouTube, on LinkedIn, it'll be on my profile to book a call with me, and we can chop it up, talk about your podcast, your YouTube channel, and your strategy for 30 minutes. I will catch you next week for the next one, and we are on all platforms, even the ones nobody uses. Catch you next week.